Here is Max Forward Speed, who of course we just call Max. I absolutely love this little horse. He is just adorable and perfect in every way. And that is also all the sentiments I've ever heard from his racing connections. His racing connections at Charlestown that I got him from just said, "You'll love this horse. There's no way you couldn't." And then actually today, one of the great things about social media, there's tons of not great things about it, but one of the wonderful things is that it can connect you with people you otherwise never would have come across. One of his breeding connections reached out to say like, "Hey, I'm so glad to see you have this horse, and I knew his breeder and followed him through his racing career, and sent me a bunch of pictures and stuff from the racetrack at Gulfstream, and a really hilarious yearling picture where he was super duper butt high and just looked like your quintessential awkward baby, and basically just said the same thing everyone else has said and the same conclusion I've come to, which is that there's just no way that you can meet this horse and not fall in love with him. He's just the cutest little thing ever. I would just put him in my pocket and take him inside if I could. So Max is having his first ride in probably going on 2 weeks, actually. It feels like a painfully long time. I'm having this very interesting problem this summer with horses and their hind feet. So I generally, when they come off the racetrack, they're in a full set of racing plates, aluminum shoes. Oftentimes they have grabs on behind. And for their first, 6, 12 months post track in work, they don't really need the hind shoes on because they're not going to be working that extremely hard. So I always pull the hind shoes, I'll do their front feet, but then they're in a half set. And I think before the summer, I could count on one hand the number of horses over the last 6 or 7 years that could not handle that. And then all of a sudden this summer, it's just been crazy. I've had probably half a dozen horses have to go back into hind shoes, including this poor little goober. And I think it's because we're having so much rain this July and August, which is wonderful. There's so many great things associated with that, like the ground isn't hard, for example. There's grass, so many great things about getting rain. However, one problem I'm having is that it's sort of causing some of these hind feet to crumble a little bit. And then we pull off the hind shoes and their feet are too soft and they just don't have enough foot, and they're just sore because they don't have enough foot behind. And, of course you could wait it out, but that could be a month, 2 months, 3 months. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. So he got done like a week and a half ago. We did the standard pull the hind shoes, do the front feet. His feet look great. But then he was just sore behind. And so at first I thought, oh, maybe he has an abscess, so I sort of treated it like that. But then it just wasn't presenting as an abscess, like he was sound walking, but just really uncomfortable bilaterally behind. Just looked kind of like he was always walking on gravel behind. So my farrier came out the other day and I had him look at Max, and also Cello is in the same exact boat. And so they both got hind shoes on. My farrier definitely thought they were way short behind, and that was definitely causing their discomfort. So they both got hind shoes on, and then it was like waving a magic wand, instantaneously sound happy horses. So he's having his first ride now that he has hind shoes back on, and he is a very happy camper. And I'm happy because he moves so cute. I thought he was a cute mover when he came off the track, but just so much cuter now. It's amazing what they can do when their feet are not hurting them. This horse has kind of missed it because I was talking at the beginning when we were doing our canter work. He has just the cutest, most sporty little compact canter. I feel like I could just canter this horse around all day. I would never get tired of it. It's so lovely. And now that he's really comfortable on his feet, when he first came off the track, I did his first couple of rides, he felt a little weak on the right lead. But now that he's comfortable on his feet, he feels wonderful both directions. It's just super balanced, lovely little canter. He's really going to be fun, I think, to get going over fences, because with a canter and a balance like that, he should really just take right to it. Now, obviously, we're not going to do that today. That would be pretty unfair since he hasn't worked in well over a week. But I did think there was no harm in starting him over some poles just because he felt so good and he was just being so easy. And, he's really cute in the contact, and he was just totally adorable. So, and he took right to the poles. He thought that was a really fun thing to do, and he was straight, happy to do it. And I just love his little attitude. He's just so cute. So these are his first couple poles. So you can see he kind of tripped over one, kind of awkward over another one. Just all totally to be expected. They have to make these mistakes. They have to learn by doing every single possibility in order to figure out what makes the most sense. As the rider, I'm just really trying to, my job is to keep him straight and set the balance, and the rest is for him to figure out. So I'm trying to just hold myself still, stay out of his way, and just let him figure out what makes sense to do with his feet. And he's such a perfect little baby horse. Of course, he figured it right out. Excuse me. I did switch his bit. I just wanted to try him in a titanium snaffle because he is really quite light and wanting to be round. So he's in a titanium egg butt snaffle with a peanut. I thought he felt great in this bit, and so I think that's what I'll keep him in for now. Oh, I totally forgot to say all the things about Max when I started this up because I was so excited to talk about him. So he's a 15 3-hand, exactly 5-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Keen Ice, which is a Curlin line. Absolutely love that line. And he's out of a Tappet mare on the bottom. Little loss of steering there, but that's okay. So really well-bred gelding. His last start was on 7/18, so he's almost exactly a month post his last start, and his last start shows up as a DNF on Equibase because, hilariously, he walked out of the start gate and refused to participate in the race. So he ended with a thud. Sort of hilarious, but a good way to tell your connections that you are done wanting to be a racehorse. And actually, I learned today that he was bred by a pilot for Alaska Airlines, I'm told, and that his name Max Forward Speed comes from that association with being a pilot. So that's kind of cool. And what he just did there, we ended on that because that was really cute. He trotted that little pile of poles, and then he really sort of figured out what makes sense, which is that you should use the poles as a really cute little canter transition. So he landed in a really balanced, soft left lead canter. So we quit on that because that was a nice little light bulb moment for him. So on the ground, Max is perfect and cute. And I really, really like him. And Billy is also quite obsessed with him. He's a little too small for Billy, though, so he's not going to be able to steal him from me. Max just, the look that he has on his face right here, he always has that expression on his face. He's just very inquisitive and smart, and he just always looks happy. We love having him in the barn.